Just got this in the mail today. Do you know that I had one of them joints about 3 years ago, and the frequency that was coming from it was amazing. I mean, I was able to really do some real work with this and open up some portals with one of these joints, but I lost it when I was in Detroit at the Detroit Psychedelic Conference. What's that? About 3 years ago or so? Yeah, it was dope. But I'm gonna do this video. I don't care how many people are watching. If no one's watching, this is for people later to listen to if they want. But I'm giving some updates. You know what I mean? I just came in from New York. So I just came out there from doing some work out there. I'm out there every Wednesday and Thursday doing work with the people. I was at Brother Hank Rising Sun's spot doing medicine work out there, but it started becoming too big. You know what I mean? Too many people showing up at his spot, so we end up having to do it at this other spot up in Brooklyn, which is nice. It's like a massage spot, so it's very fitting. You know what I mean? It could fit a lot of people in there, and just a lot of good people come through. Where should I start off with? First, I guess I could start off with what happened this past Wednesday, and while I was in the BK in Brooklyn, I had a wonderful opportunity to see this sister in action, you know, doing non-touch. That's funny. I wanted to see what's up. This is Charles. What up? What up? What up? I was there, and it was a sister there. Her name is Adara. Adara, right? A good sister. Good sister. She was there. Peace, peace, Charles. She was there with her husband. Good couple. Good peoples. And before I start, let me do some rapé real quick. I just came in the spot, really. Give me 1 second, Charles. Give me 1 second, y'all. I just got this new Caribe, this new pipe. You know what I mean? My homeboy Till just got it for me. You know what I mean? It look a little wild. Dude got four eyes. I don't even know what kind of bone this is on it for his ears, you know? So I was like, yo, I like this because it's strange, you know what I mean? So I'll pack this up with some rapé. Rapé is sacred tobacco medicine, or better known as a rapé or hape. It's used a lot in ceremonies. It's very good for using it if you want to get mucus, phlegm out of your system. I use it for a lot of my clients, a lot of people that might have respiratory issues. I remember my sister-in-law, man, she has asthma, you know what I mean? And she was up there having an asthma or wheezing. She was going through it. I remember she was wheezing, couldn't really breathe or nothing like that. And I was like, yo, you should take some of this this rapé. And she's like, I ain't taking that, Dooley. But you reaching for that, but you reaching for that inhaler though, right? That's really helping you. So she's still going through her, you know what I mean? And I'm like, listen, I was like, yo, her name is Hanifa. I was like, yo, Hanifa, yo, you need to take this hape. I'm trying to tell you something. This is gonna help you. So she took it finally, and man, not only did it stop her wheezing, she started hawking out all this mucus. It was crazy. It was like coming from I don't know where, but it was like blah, spitting it all out, and she was able to breathe better again. You know what I mean? I gave some to my nephew, one of my nephews. He actually couldn't breathe through one of his nostrils. for years. I didn't even know that was possible. You know what I mean? One of his nostrils were blocked. So he ended up daggone taking the rapé, and he was able to open up that other nostril for the first time in years. You know what I mean? So rapé does definitely helps out with any type of breathing issues, any respiratory issues. Um, but also it stimulates the third eye, the pineal gland, and all kinds of things. All right. So let me take my little joint right here. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. It is very good for grounding. That's why they use it a lot in ceremony as well. Because if you are certain sacred medicines, some people might not know what might come up for them, or they might be tripping, like a little too much out there. It needs some grounding. It's good for grounding a person. But also on the flip side, it could give you a grounding ability, but also give you energy as well. All right. You insufflated yourself. You need someone with a straw. Yo, I made my strong ones, man, too. I lot, what I mean. I do it. I would go to the Bai Thai, the Thai spots where they got the bubble tea. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, yo, listen, I'll take 2 pieces, I'll cut that bad boy straw, put a little tape around that bad boy, work just as good. You know what I mean? If not better. But I respect the craftsmanship on here, you know what I mean? So it's peace. I'm an artist as well. So, I love different art and stuff. So let me see. Take the next one. You do both nostrils. So, like I was saying, it could ground a person, but also give a person energy. Because I feel mad relaxed right now. So I'm like, man, I'm on this live. I gotta get a little more live, you know. So, whew, good stuff. And another reason why I'm so relaxed, excuse me, is because of this. But go back to what happened yesterday. But this right here, this right here. Somebody saying peace from South Carolina. Yeah, I didn't see the whole thing. What the person said on here. Basically, I'm old school, so maybe see how you get back on the daggone chat of what someone said here. I'm not sure, but I'll get back to it. Peace anyway. This one right here is called the Lemarian plug. I'm always looking for new products that could help people, increase their energy, their chi, and all that. This right here is called the Lemarian plug. You want to get this, family, right? The reason why I want to say you want to get this is just actually came in the mail today as I came into my spot. I came in and whew, I daggone see this come in right in the mail when I came in. So I just brought it in this spot and I felt mad energy coming from the box of it, where it was packaged in. So I already knew it was some energetic stuff. So I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? You know? I was like, yo, something's up in here. And then I forgot that I ordered it and that it came in today. Well, it must have came in yesterday, but I was in New York. But this right here, family, changes the frequency of your entire home. All right. It first of all, you put it on your cell phone, right? Now, everybody knows the whole science of 5G and the radiation and all that comes off of your phone. You know, that's why you gotta have your organite, your special crystals, special type of things to wear to neutralize this energy, this radiation and stuff coming from your phones. But this, you just put it on your phone. Place it on your phone for 4 minutes. Already did it. Already seen the change with with the phone, energetically. All right. I'm feeling, I don't know how many feet this actually goes out. May look at it because they get into a description of. I'll actually read it to you right now, real quick. It's like here. I'll describe what it does. It says the Lemarian plug. And you already know about the science of Lemuria. If you don't know, Lemuria and Atlantis, were very high civilizations. Very human beings at that time was dealing with some very high technology. The Lemarian plug has gotta run. Enjoy your channel. Okay. Charles, just listen to it later because I'm going to put some stuff on here for you, for the family. But peace to you, bro. The Lemarian plug has you have acquired a powerful new friend and ally for today's energetically and chemically polluted world. Since it is a stationary device intended to improve the energy of living, sleeping, and working spaces, and you are anything but stationary. Your first act should be to change the energies of your cell phone in cellular tablet. All right. So so that it is more safely linked to your world. The plug has arrived fully activated. Place the plug on top of your phone or tablet. After 4 minutes, your cellular device will be energetically optimized. Continue to recharge your phone battery as usual. If there's ever a total loss of battery power in the phone, just please repeat the above optimize, optimization process after the battery power is restored. Now that your cellular phone has been transformed from a potentially harmful device into your portable Lemurian frequency carrier, and now a healing device. So therefore, you change the frequency of your phone, and therefore it's emitting a healing frequency now after putting this device for 4 minutes on your phone. Okay, and then it says, okay, okay, okay. Your cellular phone is now at the center of a 10-foot 10-foot spear that is the Lemarian frequency. So after you actually change the frequency of your phone, now for 10 feet, it's giving off this a particular frequency. The Lemarian plug is a carrier of the Lemarian frequency. It does not need, use, or run on electricity, since the Lemarian frequency is attracted to live flowing electric current. If we place it in close proximity to the house wiring, the frequency will piggyback and spread throughout the home. If you live in a country that uses 220V electricity, please secure the Lemurian plug to an outlet using enclosed blah blah blah. Okay. So basically this should change the whole frequency of what I'm reading right now is about this thing called I just got this in the mail called the Lemarian plug. Check it out. It's about only $30. It changes the frequency of your phone, and also and when it does, it actually emits this healing frequency for 10 feet, and also changes the whole frequency of your house. It says here, may continue real quick. I'm just gonna read this real quick, and then I'll go into what I really want to talk about. It says food stored in a plug energized space is optimized within 48 hours. If you wish to consume food you just bought, place your cell phone safely underneath it. So after you change the frequency, you put this on your phone for 4 minutes, and after you change the frequency of your phone, you could put your phone actually under your food, and it will charge your food. It says right here, if you wish to consume your food you just bought, I just said that, place the phone safely underneath it. Reports are that depending upon the quality and type, even though a few seconds up to 30 minutes seem to be enough. We have users' testimonials on the website for the purpose of this instruction sheet. However, we can summarize those by saying that many users of the plug sing its praises. Results may vary, such as greater ease, harmony, and clarity at the home and at the workspace with a positive shift of energy. All right. Better sleep. Some with a long history of sleeplessness achieving their success after using usually zigzagging one or two or more safe extension cords underneath their bed. Reduce inflammation, fewer headaches and pains thanks to putting the phone or on painful areas and or wrapping a safe extension cord around the painful areas several times for several sessions of some duration. Eliminating redness, swellness, itch of bug bites by putting their phone on for 1 to 4 minutes. Happier, healthier in-home pets, fresh fruits and vegetables taste better and last longer. Okay, there it is. So check it out. It's about only 30 bucks. You don't have to plug it in, but this is how it looks like. You just put it near electrical outlet, you know what I mean, and just place it there because it runs off the electrical current. And again, you could change the frequency of the phone by putting it literally on your phone for 4 minutes. So that's one thing I just want to share with you. Second of all, just took some rapé. Second of all, excuse me. Second gift that I got for myself this week is a frequency breather. This device right here. Now, big up to my homeboy Devon, the Black Airbender. Someone sent a video of this sister using this device and using it with crystals. I was very moved by the video. So she had it in her nose, which place it right in your nose, right? And you could literally breathe in the essence of crystals, all right? And also you could plug it into certain high vibrational music and literally take in the essence of the healing frequencies of music as well. I haven't used it with music, but I tell you, I've been experimenting with different crystals. I got this pyrite that my homeboy Anthony from Atlanta, when I was in Atlanta, gave me. He gifted me this nice little pyrite crystal piece here. And I have to say, using the frequency breather with this particular crystal has opened up all kinds of, like, I could feel the back of my head, all this energy that was vibrating, you know, in the back of my head, side of my head. And I was like, this is interesting. Also, I noticed with the frequency breather that also my dreams have been very lucid. So I was like, yo, this is ill. This is getting my joints even more lucid. So what I've noticed, even the other night when I was having a lucid dream, I was able to work through some trauma, you know, because that's important. Doing a lot of work around shadow work and stuff like that. So I woke up, man, just in tears because I was doing some healing work on the other side for myself. And we all got things to work on. So this it was powerful. You know what I mean? So the way you use it, right, is this: just put in your nose, right? You could hook it up to a crystal, right, of your choice. And it shows the sister on the video that I seen when she was putting it in the crystal. She just started. You could see that she used one crystal. I think it was amethyst. You could see that her third eye was getting stimulated. Then Devon, a black airbender, put the end piece to the frequency breather onto this machine, which they call the lifestyle generator. All right. I'm trying to save up some loot to get that. But when I seen the sister putting that on there, she was going into spontaneous mudras and all that. So my thing is like, coming from a very scientific mind, I was like, yo, I gotta get this live stream generator and I want to experience that too. So, she was going into spontaneous mudras and all that when she had it on the live stream generator. Live stream generator is pretty pricey, but it's worth the money because it also is another healing technology that increases your chi or pranic level. If people have injuries or anything like that, it literally starts the healing process much quicker. So I was on the train in New York with this in my nose. Everybody had their little mask on. I had this on, breathing in crystal energy while I was on the train, feeling blissed out. So I got this crystal right here. I'm gonna put it on the crystal, right? Plug it, find a spot to put it on, and then I'm gonna start breathing in it. So I could tell you what I'm feeling already. I'm feeling a surge of energy coming in the top of my head right now. Feel like more energy is going through my body right now. And I noticed my homegirl Sheba, she came by here to get some medicine from me, some sacred medicine from me the other day. And she has issues dealing with, she has asthma and some respiratory issues. She was wheezing coming up the stairs. I had her breathe in with this crystal, with the frequency breather, and automatically she could breathe better. All right, she stopped the wheezing. So check it out. Frequency breather. You can hit up brother Devon, the Black Airbender, on Instagram or Facebook, and he has his website where you could purchase one of those. All right. Now, excuse me. Next thing I want to talk about real quick is the touchless orgasm. All right. Touchless orgasm. It was deep. You know, Wednesdays I do healings in Brooklyn. All right. So we had this sister named Adara. All right. She came through to do a demonstration on touchless orgasms. All right. Now, most people, when they think of this, and I had a great conversation with my homegirl, big up to Rashana. You know what I mean? We went into deep talking about how these practices, these tantric practices, can save relationships, can save marriages, on so many levels, because it's when people think of just touchless orgasm, they're just thinking in the mind sexuality, just, you know what I mean, getting it off sexually. But what I witnessed there was a level of healing on many different levels. There was one brother that was there when he started getting into the tantric non-touch orgasms. He had a session where his unconscious mind picked up a time of trauma with his when his mother left him at age 10. But this type of trauma that was deep buried in him, he didn't know he was carrying that with him as an adult. So the you have to understand, sexual energy, spiritual energy, they're one and the same. You know, that's why sometimes when people have a kundalini experience or of some sort, they feel super orgasmic sometimes. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. One of my good friends who experienced the toad for the first time, he went into singularity consciousness, but at the same time he was having a full body orgasm, and it was funny as hell because the brother was like, give me more. And I remember he came back from that experience saying that he could never look at sex the same anymore. And I could totally understand. You know what I mean? The There was a sister that I was working with, and she was at Hank's, and brother Hank Rising son, good elder, call him the hood scientist. He was showing us how to project energy, on a tantric level. From, he would have the sisters in the middle, have the brothers on the outside, and he taught us like project the energy from your heart and your hands, right? And when it was the females' turn, to the brothers, they would project the energy out of their breasts and their yoni. All right. Now, all the sisters that were there that day, they felt some type of reaction, right? Peace. What's going on, Raekwon? Ha ha. You know, they felt some type of reaction. One sister didn't feel nothing, right? So I could tell by her body language that she was feeling disappointed. But this is one sister that I know that's very much an overthinker sometimes, very much in her head, but not connected to her body at all. You know, well, I wouldn't say at all. She's definitely working through that, which I'm proud of her. But at that night, she was like, "Yo, dude, can you you know what I mean, serve me some bufo?" And I was like, I already did some sacred medicines with people that whole night, and I was like, "Yo, I'm tired." We did an energy exchange with each other. Like, I don't want to do that with you right now because I want to really have energy to give you a good session. But I was like, "Yo, I got some shanga. We could rock with that." You know what I mean? It's not as intense as bufo, so we can, you know what I mean, flow with that. I'm gonna tell you, she's not one that had any type of ethogens or psychedelics or anything like that before, or any sacred medicines. So she smokes on the shanga, right? And her eyes go super wide. And before I even tell her to smoke it, I'm like, go with the flow, get out your head, you know what I mean? And don't try to fight it. Go with the flow with it. See what it has to teach you. All right. So when she starts smoking, her eyes go super big. I'm like, sister, close your eyes, go within. You know what I mean? So she closed her eyes. And next thing, she's in that zone. So I'm working with the rattle, one of my rattles in a sacred fan. You know what I mean? And next thing I know, spirit tells me, project the energy from the rattle to her yoni, which I did. And next thing I know, the sister goes into full body orgasm. You know what I mean? It was deep to witness. And at that point, I start feeling what she was feeling, which was amazing, you know? And from that experience, I must say, when we both, after she came down, we both agreed, like, this is this is more beautiful and more intense than having regular physical sex. You know what I mean? So she was like, she after that experience, she's like, I can't look at sex the same anymore, Dooley. You know what I mean? And she was saying like how this experience was something that she was looking for a long time. You know what I mean? That she's been in relationships and had her adventures throughout her life, and that she's been looking for something more. You know what I mean? And to have that breakthrough was something that she said like she can't just go backwards anymore. And even having that, witnessing that experience that she had, and even feeling what she was feeling, I had to agree with her. I was like, yo, once you start to go to that level, ain't no turning back. You know what I mean? So the sister that was in New York doing the touchless orgasm, she was explaining how this is not just something that's based on just getting off or just having busting a nut or anything like that. This was something that's dealing with your energy body, your spiritual body, all these things, your unconscious mind, and all that. And the woman that was on the table was receiving this experience. You know, at first she was didn't know what to expect, but she couldn't hold it back no more. Legs was shaking, everything, and she just started moaning and all kinds of stuff. And she said it was such an intense and beautiful experience. There was a brother that went after her, you know, and the brother, I wasn't in the room. They just had all the sisters working with him. The brother that was in the room, he said that he felt all this energy at the base of his spine, and that it came up, and just the tears just started flowing. You know what I mean? So we had a good talk the next day about his experience, and it was deep. You know what I mean? And I remember between his conversation and the other sister that had the full body orgasm, she's like, this work is so important, you know? Because first of all, we have so many hangups about sexuality, especially in the US, in this Western culture. It's over sexualized, you know what I mean? And if we start to first peel away the layers of the trauma, you know, we could start to look at this in a more healthier way. And I feel it's important, because most people, we're taught about sex ed, some schools or whatever growing up, but they don't talk about the dynamics of how sexual energy could be used for healing and also used for spiritual evolution, you know? And we just had a deep conversation with that, and it was powerful to witness that, you know. And the sister that did the tantric work in New York, she's gonna be in ATL. So I'm gonna be in Atlanta on when April 25th to May 1st. So we're gonna be doing a lot in Atlanta that day, those couple of days. For the 25th to the 28th, for those 3 days, I'm gonna be giving out some sacred medicine. We're gonna be doing massage therapy. We're gonna do Reiki, Qigong, sound therapy. I'm gonna have my home girl Nikki from ATL. She works with these humongous gongs. She ain't no joke with the gong work. Um, we're going to have sister. We got two Nikki's, the sound healer, and we got the other Nikki that deals with tantric work too. Nikki's gonna come down, teach people about some of this science of sacred sexuality. And Adara, who I just met in Brooklyn, she's willing to come down and be a part of this as well. All right. What up, Damien? Peace, peace. So you got two sisters that are gonna be teaching about uh, uh, sacred tantric techniques. And also, I'm going to be doing psychic surgery, which I want to talk to y'all a little bit about that, some of my experiences recently. And that's going to be dope for the next 3 days from the 25th to the 28th. On the 20, yeah, so the 29th, 30th, and May 1st, we got a urban survival type of retreat going on. So this is going to be continuing all in ATL. We got the twins, brother Eli, who I met so many months ago. Last time I was in the ATL, brother Eli, no joke. He's a deep metaphysician. He does a lot of work with resurrecting the ancestors, those that are caught in limbo, who have went through horrific deaths. So that's a big part of what he does with his work, and he's just an amazing brother. Him and his twin brother are going to be teaching the basics on urban survival. They do falconry work. They do how to build your own compounds. They even work with, the message when you could send messages with pigeons or whatever. They do the whole 9 yard. They do archery. He has a big class, especially women of color, that he teaches them archery. He worked with one, I forget his first teacher that taught him archery, but he had another teacher that came across him. Hey, Brandy, peace. Thank you. He had another teacher that actually taught him some more skills with the archery. That the guy that actually helped with the cast on The Walking Dead. So the dude, I forget the guy's name, but this guy that was teaching everybody on The Walking Dead, that series, how they was getting busy on that show. He learned some skills from this particular person. So we're gonna be learning archery. This particular retreat, we're not gonna be doing gun training, but the next time that we do, we're gonna be doing that too, because we're gonna be actually learning about hunting. And I was raised vegetarian, even went through a vegan phase in my life as well, and raw foodist as well. But I'm thinking about if anything would come down to the come down, and if it ain't nothing for you to eat, then it's about survival, you know? So I tell people all the time, like, if we could take note of, like, for instance, New Orleans, and they had everybody in that Superdome, and people were dropping like flies and at the mercy of some type of people that didn't really care about the welfare of their people at that time. People should take note of certain things like that. People that actually were able to thrive were the people that actually knew how to live off the land. So this is what we're going to be learning with the twins out there. The basics: how to make a fire, how to make pitch a tent, how to make a compound. What else? He does falconry work. I mean, the twins are awesome. So how to do foraging. Certain edible plants and berries and stuff. How to recognize those things. What else? So is important, basically, what this information that they're gonna be sharing with people. Um, you know, um, you know, what's the CDC, whatever they call them, folks that were talking about the jab or whatever I know so many months ago or last year they talked about in the wake of a zombie apocalypse. You never know what might go down. So you want to be one of those people to always be prepared, basically. There's another urban survivalist that I have a lot of respect for. His name is Anton Edwards. You could look up his work too. But these are people that definitely want to link with and learn, because, say for instance, if anything did go down, and you didn't have access to a grocery store or anything like that, how would you be able to make sure you and your family, your friends, and everyone is good? So prepare yourself. learn how to be able to thrive off the land, and do what you gotta do. And of course, I talked to Brother Eli because I never, went hunting before. I never like went camping or anything like that. That was in my experience, growing up. I'm from the city. I'm actually from Boston, from Roxbury. So a lot of us that just grew up in the city environments, we're not equipped. We don't know how to deal with living off the land. You know what I mean? Um, and I took herbal classes before, and I remember the first herbal class I took. I was so surprised all the edible plants that are all around us, even in the hood. You know, you'll walk by them every day and not notice that these are medicines, things that you can eat. As springtime comes, do some foraging. Go out and see and start to study these different plants around you. Now they got apps that you could literally take pictures of certain things if you don't recognize them, and they could tell you what they are. You got dandelions. As children, we go around, pick the little thing and blow on it, see the little things float and stuff. That's edible. Before it turns white and stuff, and when you have them yellow dandelions, those are very good for you to make tea and stuff. You know what I mean? So there's, plantain grows all in the grass all around us. So there's so many different herbs, even in the hood, that you can eat, that you can be able to use as medicine. If there's no food around, be able to eat and maintain yourself. How to clean your water, how to filter your water. They're gonna show us all kinds of things. They're even gonna take us fishing, you know. So I asked Eli, for those who don't eat meat or those who aren't into hunting or anything, I was like, how do you approach that? Because I know he's a spiritual individual, and I remember we talked, and I remember around that conversation, me and Eli was talking about how indigenous people had a connection with the animals. You know, you would hear how a lot of hunters were very telepathic on a level of where they knew that there was this agreement between this animal and this hunter. And they looked at that animal as sacred, not something you go in hunting and you see people shoot a deer or shoot this animal and put their head laminated on the wall or anything like that. You know what I mean? That's cruelty. You know what I mean? You're not even using it for food or your own survival or anything like that. That's just being cruel and insensitive to another being that has a life force and consciousness to it. You know what I mean? So, there's been many indigenous cultures that would approach their hunting from a level of saying, hey, I honor this. You're going to be able to sustain me and my family. I thank you for being able to give your life to be able to continue our existence. So we're going to be learning a lot of different things on the urban survival. Definitely check it out. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be in ATL. So we're going to have a lot of good stuff going on, man, that whole couple of days there. So that was that. I wanted to, and I think it's called linksurvival.com, if I'm not mistaken, their website. Yeah, if anything, I'll go back on this video and put the plug in on the actual website. But it's only, I think Eli is only charging $98 for the whole experience. You know what I mean? So it's 3 days of camping out. Just bring your tent, bring a nice little sleeping bag with you, a pillow if you want. And we're going to vibe, man. We're going to vibe out in the woods, Next thing is this. Psychic surgery. Okay. I will be offering that while I'm in Atlanta. The psychic surgery has been getting more intense with me. And as I'm doing more of this work, I'm seeing that it's getting even more interesting. All right. Um, what is psychic surgery? All right. Basically, I go into a deep trance, and from my studies over the years of doing energy work, you know, it's taken to a whole nother level. All right. I've been dealing with Tai Chi and Qigong for about 25 years now. And there's an excellent video out on YouTube of one of my teachers, Dr. Wayne Chandler. You know, he wrote the book Ancient Future. Big up to him. You know what I mean? He's an excellent teacher. Um, I've had many different teachers over the years that dealt with Qigong and different stuff like that. But Dr. Wayne, take advantage of the fact that he's open to really teach people some really deep science along the lines of energy cultivation. Um, and he did a video with Brother Rich not that long ago, and he was breaking down the science of Qigong, Nigong, Tai Chi, and if you want to get deeper into this healing work, you got to cultivate the life force. There's no getting around it. You know what I mean? If you want to do some things of taking diseases out of people, serious illnesses, entities, or whatever, you have to have your life force energy up. You know what I mean? I've been playing with the breathing cultivation for almost 25 years. Like I said, I got really deep into it when I was in high school, and it has saved my life. It has shown me so much about myself in healing, just along the lines of learning how to breathe correctly, how to move your body in certain ways. Like even Brother Rich was saying, Dr. Wayne Chandler was saying on Brother Rich's show, the healing sounds. And in Qigong, you have different healing sounds for your organs. And there's certain movements that go along with those sounds. You know what I mean? So depending on what school of thought you're in, or depending on what teacher, there's different variations of these practices. So I've had at least three different teachers that told me different ways of approaching the healing sounds that affect your organs. All right. So, like Dr. Wayne Chandler said in that video with Brother Rich, he gave one example with the lungs. And the lungs makes the sound it stimulates the lungs, opens the lungs, heals the lungs. With all this COVID stuff, you want to make sure your lungs are on point. You know what I mean? I ain't get that. People been getting COVID all around me, and I ain't catch that joint yet. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember one good friend of mine had COVID, and I went and worked on her, and it was funny. I walked in there with the mask on, right? Actually, I just came in from New York, so you had to wear the mask on the bus and all that. So I had this mask right here on my bed here. So I remember came in to work on this particular sister, and I had the mask on, going in to the healing with her, right? Cause she was pretty messed up. She couldn't even really walk or nothing. So it's either fear or love, y'all. So I came in there with that. Then I caught myself. I was like, what the fuck am I goddamn scared of with this damn thing? You know what I mean? I was like, hell to the no. You know what I mean? I was like, this is all about frequency. So I went in with my medicine, and, I started doing my mudra thing, all that, my breathing thing, start pulling out that COVID out of that sister. I actually breathed in it. After I took it in, I was like, the hell with this. You know what I mean? And if anything, I felt stronger after the healing. You know what I mean? And the sister felt completely great the next day. All right? Not saying everybody follow what I'm doing, but you got to know what you know. And I know what I know. You know what I mean? After years of doing certain things. Um, what was interesting is this. When we deal with frequency, when we deal with healing diseases or illnesses or anything like that, the first time it really came to me was when I was teaching a class on combo. Combo is frog medicine, sacred frog medicine, all right? They call it the vaccination of the jungle, all right? I went to Costa Rica to learn how to deal with that medicine, okay? And traditionally, it was used for malaria, for snake bites, for fevers. Even the women would use it for certain levels of birth control, different things of that. The sisters would even use it for an anti-aging type of mechanism. Okay, combo is intense. You're gonna throw up. You're gonna go to the bathroom. Heart rate's gonna be going a little faster. Feel like your body's heating up. All kinds of stuff, right? So the thing is, I don't know where I was going with this. Oh yes, the class. You know what I mean? It's been a long day, y'all. I just got off the bus from New York. Um, the thing is this, I was teaching this class with the combo, right? And one of the sisters that, a lot of people left to get back on the plane or wherever they had to go back home. One of the sisters, two of them had a flight the next day. So one of them came to me. Yeah, combos joint. Somebody said I've talked in combos multiple times. Yeah, so this person who just said that, you already know. That damn combo ain't no joke. But so the sister, she was telling me, she was like, Dooley, can you do a healing on me? Right? So I said, sure, you know what I mean? But I gotta be in trance to do what I gotta do. All right. So she had these big lumps on her feet. One lump on her left foot was about this big. The other lump was a little smaller. All right. Now, took some sacred mushrooms, some San Pedro, and I start going in. Right. Once it made my face look like a frog. Yeah, the frog face. They call it the frog face. But after the frog face actually, it affects the collagen. It tightens the skin. So that's why a lot of women in the jungle, they used to love taking the combo because would make them appear younger. All right. Yeah. Sometimes I get the frog face myself too. It's something else. But those who've never taken combo don't get freaked out. The swelling goes down after so many hour or two or what have you. It's different for each person. But you feel clean as a whistle after you're done with the session, you know. And combo helps with so many things. Inflammation, cleans out, gets all the parasites out of your body, all kinds of stuff. All right. But so I start going in the zone and working on the woman's foot, and I could see something like looking like lasers, energy lasers coming from my finger. And I put my consciousness into her foot. And every time if it hit the affected area, it was like a ripple effect. So it would go through, go through, go through, until next thing I know, I see the lump going down, going down, going down until that bad boy disappeared. All right. I couldn't even believe it at first. I was like, what? What's going on here? So I start working on the other foot, go in with the laser type energy, boom, 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 until the next foot start getting smaller, smaller. But at that point, I started getting tired, And at that point, I started taking on the negative energy or what have you, whatever was going on with her foot. You know what I mean? So then I had to do the energy throw up. So whatever was dealing with her foot wouldn't be stuck in me. All right. Um, it was interesting because the woman said those lumps were on her foot for 8 years. And all these foot doctors and stuff couldn't do nothing for her. That was one of the prime first examples. Before actually was another situation that showed me that I could do that too, but that kind of sealed it. Then I started having more experiences similar to this thing that I call psychic surgery. The most recent ones, right? First of all, I'll just jump. I'm not going to talk about all the other healings I did. I'll tell you about the more recent ones because the most recent one, I learned a lot of different stuff on the other side. All right. There was one brother in New York. He dropped a weight on his foot while he was at the gym. All right. His name is Kevin, big white dude. He came through in Brooklyn to get some sacred medicine, get him some healing work. You know, I noticed he's like, yeah, Dooley, I dropped this weight on my foot. I say, okay, let me see if I could work on it. And he gets on the massage table, and at that point, I just get in the zone. And not always, I don't always need sacred medicine or anything to get in that zone, because my thing is this, is that you should be able to reduplicate the frequency, all right? But there is some cases, hold on, I remember when you talked about starting cars with your energy. Yeah, that's true. And somebody bigged me up on Instagram about that. They said that this rapper, what's his name? I forget the dude's name, man. Forget the guy's name. Pardon me, but I guess it was this rapper's name. I forget him, but they said that he started up battery. He started car up with his energy or whatever, with his hands or whatever. And Kevin Gates, yeah, Kevin Gates. Thank you for that. Um, and I could see the little clip they were trying to clown him, like what is he smoking or what is he on or whatever. It's just people they trust me, man. People, they gotta catch up. Folk gotta catch up. There's so much to us that will not even. Yeah, Gates tapped in. Word. You know what I mean? Is so much to us that we not even aware of. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because we fell. You know what I mean? We're coming back up, but we fell. You know, so people just gotta first understand that, and you should be a skeptic. You know what I mean? You should question everything, definitely. But I could tell from what Kevin Gates was saying, he didn't have the lingo. He didn't have the knowledge behind what he did. You know, you should have to learn how to explain these things. So, because of my Qigong Tai Chi background, I can explain what happened. You know what I mean? Um, so I get it. You know what I mean? And yeah, people are gonna be skeptics. It's all good. You know what I mean? Sometimes people have to experience things themselves. Like the sister that had the full body orgasm. When she had that joint, she was like, yo, ain't no turning back. I was like, I can't look at sex the same no more. There's levels to this. You know what I mean? So, you know, in regard to starting the cars, and I started a couple of cars, um, you know, which was interesting. And it all deals with energy. Everything deals with energy. We know this from a quantum level. We know on the level of quantum physics, we know that everything at its core is vibration and frequency. That's why I love Nikola Tesla, the inventor, so much, man. He was so on point, you know. So when you learn how to cultivate this energy, and the biggest thing is just the breath, you wouldn't even. It's so simple. That's the thing about it. People make this stuff so complex. It's not that deep like that. You know what I mean? Is really, it's all in the breath. And that's why the mystics and all of them, they will tell you the importance of this level of breathing, learning the, when you talk about the Taoist masters, you know, when you look at these yogis, when you look at some of these sages, they all say the same thing. You know, breath is spirit, you know, on an etymology level, you know. So you know, I remember my homeboy, big up to Firewater. That's one of my homies. He's, you know, really good peoples. I remember he was saying how it was this one Taoist master. Came into his cave and seen his bones glowing. You dig? I'm gonna even piggyback more even on that. When it comes to the Rosicrucian order, for instance, when you get to a certain degree, they take you to Ethiopia, to the sacred sites out there. Now there's this one dude, his name is Sunyata Saraswati. Breathing on mushrooms is crazy. It's something about putting that in on the mind. Yeah, yeah. That's why I got this frequency breather. You know what I mean? For those who might have just jumped on, I just got the frequency breather. And when you go in with the medicine, with the frequency breather, and then connect this bad boy to a crystal, oh man, you taking it to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? I was saying before, earlier, before other folk jumped on, put this right on the crystal, start breathing in the essence of the crystal while you're on mushroom or something. Oh man, that's another video when I actually do that. But check this out. I'll show you the picture of him. Sanyata Saraswati. Okay, this is a picture of him. I don't know if y'all can see him. This is the OG right there. It's the elder. All right. Now, that dude was deep, first and foremost. He wrote the book, Jewel in a Lotus. All right. Which is a tantric book. A lot of deep stuff in there. The dude was an ill martial artist. All right. But also, he was present at one of these sacred sites in Ethiopia. And one of the people that was there present with him was former President Jimmy Carter and some other people, you know, high up in the game. They witnessed with their own eyes a glass coffin with a glowing body in there. All right. The body was glowing, you know. Sunyata Saraswati was telling some of his students about this particular situation, the time when he was in the Ethiopian scene this. Okay. So there's so many examples to show you that there's much more to us, first and foremost. You know, in the early 2000s, I was studying Tibetan Buddhism, Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism. I met a lot of deep lamas and Rinpoches during that time. Took a lot of interesting initiations during that time. There's a phenomena called the rainbow body technique that's very well known in Tibet. All right. And it's basically these individuals, these masters that can turn their body into light That's how they exit out of this dimension. All right. They don't even leave nothing behind. All right. You know, those who aren't as advanced, their body starts to shrink to so many inches. And literally, you have their disciples that put the shrinking body into what they call a stupa, you know? A stupa is basically supposed to represent the body of the Buddha. It looks like a little pyramid, all right? And it's used as the divine relic, the remains of this shrinking body. Sometimes the body shrinks to inches. Now, we know damn well modern day science cannot explain that phenomena. There's almost over 200,000 documented cases of people that seen these masters turn their body into light. For the listeners out there, that should be something inspirational. You know, real talk. I know that a lot of us like to focus and put our energy on the doom and gloom. You know, Will Smith smacking somebody at the Oscars, or this is going on in Ukraine, or this is happening over here, or that's happening over here, or the jab, or whatever. You have so many distractions. You have so many things that keep our minds preoccupied on the BS, than rather taking the time to master yourself. Now, is mastering yourself an easy task? Hell no. It takes a lot of work, but it's fruitful when you put in the work. I listened to this interview the other day, and this brother was very interesting. He was talking about some of his astral projection experiences, all right? This guy was he was a professional lawyer for over 30 years. Never into consciousness or any of these things. Straight edge, suit and tie guy, that's his life. He said one day he was walking down the street and he seen this homeless man. He said the radiance coming from this man's eyes was so profound. When they locked eyes, he couldn't, it's like the man put him under a trance. Now, I know about that phenomena because my father, when he went to Pakistan, he came across this Sufi master once on the street. And he was walking by this dude. They caught a glimpse of each other. And when he looked into this Sufi master's eyes, instantly he took my father throughout the universe. Same thing happened to this guy that I was listening to talking about this experience with this so-called homeless man. After he came out the trance, the man dipped. You know what I mean? He walked around the corner or whatever. He looked for him around the corner. He was gone, like he vanished. He seen him days later. And when he seen him days later, the homeless man spoke to him, right? Supposedly a homeless man spoke to him. And broke down knew everything about him. And basically revealed himself that he was one of his spirit guides that manifested in physical form. And that fucked dude's head up because we look at things from the outward. We're always caught up in the outward appearance, you know? But if you ain't got really eyes to see, you don't know if you're in the presence of a master or what have you. And you might miss your blessings because you're looking outwardly. That's what almost happened to that dude. He's like, how could this guy be who he is? He smells foul. He's looking dirty or whatever. You know what I mean? Somebody says here, bro, you had me going down the rabbit hole on that Xenon. I had to get a pack of those in Krypton. Thank you for opening that door, brother. Yeah, no doubt, man. I got some Xenon right on my shelf right here. Xenons ain't no joke. You know what I mean? Big up to Uncle Hank for that one, for bringing that info out to folk. He said there's a book called Einstein Does Not Live Here Anymore, or something like that. And they were talking about the benefits of the xenon gas. It's one of the noble gases, you know. Brother Eli, who's xenon is cool. I heard it's like steroids. Yeah, it's deep. Yeah, xenon ain't no joke. You know, I've had a lot of experiences working with the xenon so far. You know, you could put it anywhere on your body, man. You know, put it in your navel, put it in the back of your head, put it on your third eye. Yeah, I got it on PDF. Interesting stuff. Okay, that book. Yeah. Use the medicine. Put one of them xenons on your third eye. Woo-wee. Game changer. You know what I mean? Game changer. You know, there's certain somebody else. Yeah, Rise. Peace. Rise Emperor. Yeah, peace. You know. There was Eli who's doing the survival retreat in Atlanta. Again, we're gonna be doing that the 28th, 29th, and yeah, 28th, April 28th, 29th, 30th, May 1st. Linksurvival.com. I believe it's called linksurvival.com. But Eli talks about how there's certain beings that actually breathe in these particular noble gases. That's the essence that they breathe in. You know what I mean? Like we breathe in oxygen, whatever. They breathe in xenon, different things like that. And I ain't gonna put him on blast, but I'll let y'all sit down and let him pick your brain on certain encounters that he had with some of our space brothers. You know what I mean? Gets real out there. But the guide I was listening to about the homeless man being one of his spirit guides manifesting in physical form for him reminds me of even the song with Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? I forget the name of the song where he's talking about, countering this homeless man and parents is not seeming what they are, because this is an inner journey, you know? But yeah, rock with the xenon, the krypton, noble gas. Those kryptons are used more along the lines of doing shadow work or even the levels of exorcisms. You know what I mean? Could definitely use that in sessions for yourself or someone who wants to get unwanted energies off of themselves. All right. But I'm gonna jump back to the psychic surgery. I know I'm going here, but I feel like I should definitely share what happened the other day, working with some folk. Like I said, it was one dude dropped a weight on his foot at the gym. His foot was swelled up, and he daggone had a big bruise on his foot. All right. Now, beyond working with that sister and having those those big old lumps on her feet disappear working with her. There was another situation where I was working with this elder, okay? And yes, you are a true healer. Well, thank you. I'm still learning too, but thank you. You know what I mean? There's knowledge is infinite. I don't want to put myself on a pedestal for nobody, you know, but I thank you for the compliment. I remember I was working with this elder, and that was the first time I went in deep with the iboga. You know, that's the sacred medicine that's out in Gabon, you know, in Africa under the Betwi tradition. All right, they call it the time travel medicine. All right, it's big with working with people who deal with addictions. All right, I really wish that somebody could have hit DMX to these type of the particular medicine iboga that would have really helped the brother. You know what I mean? But essentially, you're able to tap into different timelines because we gotta talk about that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That movie's deep. You know what I mean? Connecting with your multi-dimensional selves. It's deep if you haven't seen that movie yet. It's out in the theaters now. It's the chick from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I forget the woman's name. And the other movie she was in too, Marvel movie, something she to do with the rings. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I remember I was working with the elder with the iboga, and that was an experience itself. My first really iboga experience. But I remember when I was coming down from the medicine, I noticed that the elder had a swelled up ankle, you know. And I was with Brother Hank at the time, actually. Me and him was both going in with the iboga that day. And I remember I was saying like, yo, to the elder, I was like, yo, you want me to help you with your leg? And he's like, all right, sure. My hand started vibrating. It started shaking uncontrollably, right? Felt all this energy coming through. And next thing I know, it looked like a hologram that came out of my forearm. It went up like this. It went like zoom, right? It was green. I remember to this day, it was like green, looked like green hologram or whatever. Came out my arm, zoom, went over his leg like it was scanning it. Like it went down his leg like zoom, went over his ankle and stuff and went down like zoom, and then came up zoom. You know what I mean? Like it was scanning it. Next thing I know, it was like this crisscross thing. Like it was repairing the muscles and the fibers, you know, the muscle tissue and everything. It was like sewing it up. It was like super fast, like right? When I seen that, next thing I know, it was like 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. The swelling went down. It went like, and Brother Hank was so funny. He was like, yo, Dooley, what did you just do? He was like, man, you be on that Dragon Ball Z shit. You know what I mean? But it was a funny moment. But yeah, that's when I started realizing. I was like, you know, this stuff is real. Again, so I'm working on the brother in New York who dropped the weight on his foot, and I start going in the zone. And next thing I know, the swelling goes down on his foot. First, before I put my hand on his foot, I was working with these tools. Again, I'm just trying to give y'all some tools to work with. This is a great tool to work with. The selenite swords. I do a lot of work with these swords here. All right. Got this from this guy named Tom Lender. Ledder. Check him out. This one right here is one of them. Got the flower of life on it, right? I don't know if you can see it. Got the jaguar on the bottom. All right. Now the base of it has over 400 different crystals in it, crushed up. Crushed up powder formed for over 400 different crystals. And also it's using water therapy, water out, the alchemy of water. All right. We know water holds memory. We can look at that through, thank you. Tex Rock say, wow, that's dope. Thank you, bro. We could look at the work of Dr. Emoto, the Japanese scientist, and prove how water holds memory and how it can be programmed and stuff like that. With the people doing prayers over the water compared to like cursing at the water and all that, and looking at it under a microscope and seeing the difference, seeing the geometrical patterns with the water that's playing beautiful music or being prayed over or praised, compared to cursing at the water or using very negative words, right? Like, I hate you, all this other stuff. The negative tonation, you would see the frequency would change with the water and the geometrical patterns would break up, right? Like little miniature bombs going through it. So in the base of this, beside the 400 different crystals, you had drops of water from around the world. Water that was collected from the Nile River, water that was collected from the Jordan River, water that was collected from the Ganges River. All these high vibrational places, and he would put drops of water in the base of it. So I would use these different swords, right? This is one. This is my other favorite one right here. This one has the lapis lazuli on the end of it. And this one has the goddess Hathor on it. I don't know if you could see it. Or Hetoru. I don't know if you could see so much. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Very, very powerful piece when you're working with people. All right. Now, I remember one time when I was working with this one sister, all right, and I was using this particular sword here. It was deep. I'll never forget that. A telepathic voice came to me, and it just started schooling me of how to use that particular sword. It was a woman's voice, and it said, close your eyes while working with this. She said, you don't need your eyes open to see what you're going to see with this. And it was all an intuitive process, and you had to be very in tune to the very subtlety of the energy of what was going on with the person. I thought I just saw electricity shooting from through the sword. Am I tripping? No, you're not. I just seen it too, bro. I'm glad I ain't the only one that just see that shit. Wow. Wow. Okay. Not tripping. Okay. Yeah. Powerful, bro. All right. So, that's funny. Glad somebody else picked up on that. Um, so she was showing me. Right. Crazy, right? So she was showing me how to use it. It was very subtle, very subtle. So towards the end of the healing with her, I seen in my mind's eye a white dragon that came through the tip of it. Came out, went inside the woman, start spiraling around, doing cleansing her out, doing all this thing. And eventually I asked her, no, first, before the dragon, I asked her when I heard the woman's voice. I said, who are you? She laughed. I heard it. Because you have to understand that we're very primitive in this age. We use our mouth to communicate. Blah, 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 blah. Most advanced civilization are very telepathic. Most of them. Throughout different star brothers and sisters and stuff, They're telepathic. They communicate mind to mind. We used to do that a lot too in our earlier years of development, you know? Um, and I'm telling you, it's real. Telepathy is real. I'll give you an example. I have this one brother who's has a very scientific mind, very, very left brain. You know, you got to prove everything to this guy. Oh, you're dealing with that pseudoscience, you know? So he never experienced mushrooms before, right? So he experienced mushrooms for the first time with this sister, this good friend of that he's been friends with for many years. And this woman was more seasoned with the mushrooms, right? So while they was on the mushrooms, all of a sudden, he starts hearing her talk to him in his mind. And he's like, yo, am I tripping? Are you talking to me right now? And she communicates back to him. It's like, yeah, of course I'm talking to you right now. You know what I mean? This ain't not, like basically, this ain't nothing new, bro. You just hip to this now. And like it was like it was like his whole paradigm shifted right there. His whole view on reality was like, and I remember he came back to me and told me about that. And he's like, I can't believe it, bro. My friend, we was talking back and forth, mind to mind. We was not speaking. And I was like, yep, starting to get it. So most of us, and again, because most folk are walking around with calcified pineal glands, the joint is unactive, you know, most folk ain't sitting down working on themselves. They have no clue that we have these abilities, right? But it's real. Shit is real. It's like I'll tell you one time, I was on a high dose of mushrooms once, right? I think I was like on 25 grams that day or something like that, right? Chilling. And I remember when I was coming down, the people, the cogs, and the machine. Oscar, where? I hear you, man. I hear you, man. We're here to learn. You know, God experiencing itself. You know, we're here to learn, man. You know, it's so interesting, man. We make all these agreements before we get here. You know, even some of the harshest lessons, believe it or not, is for our own self development. You know, but we gotta be compassionate with ourselves, loving to ourselves and our fellow brothers and sisters, even the assholes out there, because we're all connected, man. You know, patience. It's hard sometimes though. But I remember when I was on this journey, and I was coming down. I had a spliff rolled for me. I had some weed, you know, and I remember I was about to smoke it, and a voice came to me, a telepathic voice came to me, and it said, "Why are you smoking that?" That's what the voice said. So me, I'm thinking, am I tripping right now? Why, I'm thinking this is my own voice or whatever, right? My own thoughts. Then the voice continued. It said, "Don't you know what's in it?" Right? So it went down a whole list of different chemicals. I don't think it was talking so much about the weed. It was talking about these blunts, all right? These tobacco products that a lot of us in the hood wrap our weed with, right? These Fonto leaves, these swishers, these daggone, you know what I mean, backwoods, all these things, right? The voice said, "Don't you know what's in it?" So it went down a whole list of chemicals that was in this blunt. I think I rolled it with a Fonto leaf, right? So I knew at that point, I knew it wasn't from my mind. Because I couldn't even pronounce the damn chemicals they were saying. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, oh shit, this shit is real. So next thing I know, me being my stubborn self, hard-headed self, I still try to smoke it. When I smoke it, I swear to God, y'all, hands down, it tastes disgusting. I was like, ew. I was like, this shit is nasty. You know what I mean? I remember I didn't smoke for a long time after that, you know? And that's the beauty of some of these teaching plants and medicines and stuff like and fungi and stuff. You know, and you have universities now that are coming up with the facts. They got the data showing, yes, it's going to deal with taking away addictions. It deals with depression, anxiety, all these things, you know? That's why I said earlier, I was like, man, I wish somebody was hollering at DMX. Because I ain't know towards his passing that he was dealing with addiction. I think he was dealing with crack addiction and stuff for many years behind closed doors. Sometimes you don't know the things that people are dealing with, you know? And all that stuff comes from trauma, you know? Sometimes all the money and the fame, all that, sometimes we think as we climb the ladder of so-called success that we're going to be more happier. No, the trauma's still there, you know? So it's like a sister that was here. I had a couple of people that came out of town. And this woman's from she's from Maryland. And she's from Germany. Interesting lady. One night while the folks was here, she was screaming because her jaw was hurting, you know? And she was crying that night, literally crying. She's like, my tooth, my jaw hurts, oh my God, right? So I said, calm down, you're gonna be okay. I'm gonna do some work on you, right? So I go into trance and I see it's not really the jaw or her tooth, it was her throat. And as I was channeling, I got to download that she was abusing the weed. She was abusing the smoking. And she was abusing the rapé, because rapé is very good, yes, for getting the mucus out, stimulating third eye, grounding and all that. But when you start to abuse these things, they can have an adverse effect, you know? In the jungle, tobacco is considered masculine. It's considered the grandfather medicine, all right? In the jungle, we call it mapacho, you know? One of the brothers that was in New York, he had literally got cancer from doing too much of the rapé because, it still has nicotine in it, you know? And you know what cured him of the cancer? Iboga, you know? He's about to go down to Gabon now to do a 2-month training. And I'm thinking about going down there with him, you know? I just got to see if my bread is right, time is right, if I'm able to do that at time. If I'm not, I'm still gonna eventually do that training, because it is important medicine, you know? So telepathy is real, even when I was dealing to work with the sister and I was pulling stuff out of her throat, and I was telling her, I was like, yo, you gotta chill out with the smoking and overdoing the rapé and stuff. You're abusing it. And I said, you're abusing it because you're looking for something outside yourself to make you feel so-called happy or relaxed or whatever. I was like, all that's inside you already. You gotta tap in. You gotta let go of that pain. And as soon as I started pulling that out, I swear to goodness, it was a dude outside my building or where I'm at, right? And I could hear him outside. As soon as I take it off, it's like the dude was like possessed. Just trying to curse up where we at. And it was one sister that was there that peeped it. We both peeped it at the same time. And I was like, you see the natural balance of the universe? I was like, as soon as you take something out and it's positive, they go that negative. You know? And it was two ways I could interpret it. As I took it out, might have jumped on that person out on the street. Or you have your agents, you know? And it's like, hey, we don't like what this guy's doing. He's helping another person. We got to send this one over here to try to fuck with him. At that point, I visualized a beam of light coming down over the house. Hit that dude out in the street. He had a jet. So either you're dealing with love or fear. you know? Yeah, man. It's interesting, man. But that dude that dropped the weight on his foot, after working on him about 10 minutes, because I worked with him with the selenite swords first, started going over the auric field with his foot. Then I actually put my hands on his foot and started channeling the healing energy. And sure enough, the swelling went down. Even the bruise went away. And then the brother texts me the next day and says, "Dooley, my foot feels brand new." So those are the things that make me feel good, man. Make me feel like I'm actually living my life's purpose, to help folk out. But the main thing that I really wanted to share with y'all along the lines of psychic surgery is when I was working with this one woman who she had some hip problems, right? And she's a dancer. She used to be on tour with the old school reggae artist Patra, right? So she was touring overseas, this place, that place, doing her thing, But she had a hip problem, right? And so I said, okay, I'll work on you. And I remember that day. That day was deep. I learned so much from that healing because it's not just me helping a person out. People don't even understand I'm being helped out as well. Because as I'm doing this healing work, I'm learning things about myself, learning things about the spirit world, the universe, different things like that. Somebody has a comment. Gotta go, family, but thank you so much for this timely word. I am a listen again for peace and gratitude. No problem, Brandy. Have a beautiful night, my friend. Okay? So when I was working with the sister, I remember different channels would come through, right? Somebody else got a comment here. I like to heal a rabbit with some kind of lump. It's not cancer, but it's most likely kill him if nothing's done. Thing is, I'm afraid of absorbing the sickness. Do you think that happens? Yes, it does happen. You can absorb sickness if you're not at a level of learning about transmutation. I'll give you two examples, and then I'll go back to the lady with the hip. The first example is my mother. She passed away from cancer herself. All right. There was one particular medicine I really wish I knew about at the time that could have helped my mother at the time. But, it is what it is. But I remember she had breast cancer, and I remember one time I was with my mom, and I started doing a healing on my mom. And she felt me pulling out the cancer out of her. But at that point, I didn't master or learn so much about transmutation yet at that particular journey in my life. And I remember my mother yelled out, said, "Stop right now. The angels are telling me for you to stop right now. I am not allowing you to take on my cancer." That's what my mom Duke said. And I remember it did take me a while to shake off the residue after even working briefly with my mother during that time, you know? And like I said before, even that lady with the lumps on her feet, when I worked on her, when I took away the first lump on the left foot, when I worked on the right foot, and I started getting a little tired, that's when I started feeling whatever sickness or whatever thing she was going through. And I had to do the, some of y'all that do healing work might have experienced this before, but you do this energy throw up thing. You know, it's throwing up or you're not throwing up. It's like this energy type of throw up thing that you have to get out of you. All right. Now, I didn't really start to figure out or understand about transmutation much more until I was in Mexico, until when I was in Oaxaca, when I was in the mountains up there. And I was working with one of my teachers, you know, and I remember he had some issues with his lip. Like every like every 5-10 minutes, he's putting this lip balm thing on him, you know. And one day I asked him, I was like, "Yo, what's going on with your lip, man?" You know. And he's like, "Oh, it's like this ingrown hair going through my lip, causing me pain." So I said to him, "Well, if I go in a deep trance, I might be able to help you." So I remember that day, I puffed on some DMT. And what happened first was that I went into trance and I started speaking into another language, which happens a lot sometimes with me when I'm doing healings with people. I start singing this song in another language. I looked at myself at that moment and I became one of these Mayan deities. Had all these feathers in my hair and stuff. And I'm singing this song, this healing song to him. Then I come down, and next thing I know, I smoke again, go in again. I start doing these spontaneous mudras. Next thing I know, I'm opening up a portal. I open this portal up. When I open up the portal, it was complete darkness, complete blackness. I remember I had to go through the blackness, and at the end of that portal, it was your classic, like your classic Satan type of symbol. It looked like a classic type of demonic looking type of figure. I had to go through it with no fear or attachment. And I remember when I went through that, it was like I graduated or I got some type of attainment at that moment. Because when I snapped out of the trance, me and my teacher looked at each other eye to eye, and he realized that I accomplished something on the other side. In shamanism, they talk about being very familiar with the certain spirits of disease. That's why when you look at any book or any type of literature on shamanism, they say a lot about healers that are initiated through sickness, be it mental sickness, spiritual sickness, physical sickness, because they have to be familiar with the energetic signature to deal with it. You got to know it, to sniff it out, to know what it is, right? So I had to go through that particular state of darkness to get some particular download, to know how to deal with transmutation, basically to take something that's harmful or negative and turn it into something that's positive or useful. At that moment, I started to work on my teacher's lip. They showed me that it was a certain way you breathe. All right, I'm talking about real deep breathing and holding your breath a certain long period of time. Next thing they showed me was in Qigong and Tai Chi, they have this place near your belly button, like about 3 inches below your belly button, called the Dan 10 area, where most people, when they're dealing with energy cultivation, that's the place where you first start to cultivate your energy and start to basically see that as your storehouse. Like if you want to put it in simpler forms, if you have like a bank, say for instance, you have a bank of energy, right? If you're a billionaire, a trillionaire, that means you have a lot of energy there. You're able to do a lot of things. But if you are overdrafting or whatever, then that's where the aging, the disease, all that comes in. All right. So you learn how to build your energy up through breathing a certain way. So in that moment, they were showing me you breathe a certain way and you hold your breath a certain way. And they showed me something that looked like a pot in my dawn 10 area or my belly area, right? The pot was like boiling water. So the more I would breathe in, the more the fire within my belly would get more hotter or whatever. And basically, that pot represented whatever negative that I was taking out of that person and coming into me was being transmutated. Like the heat changed the molecular structure of the disease or the illness or the negativity. And thus, when it was changed, the molecular structure, it thus became a form of positive energy for me or a form of chi, something that's useful for me now. You know what I mean? So literally doing that technique literally brought more energy to me, which was very different than previous healings that I did in the past, where I'm working on somebody, pulling something out, and then feeling very drained or tired afterwards, or going through the energy throw up thing. All right? Literally, I felt more energized after pulling the stuff out of my teacher's lip. So that's a form or example of transmutation. All right? But you have to be at a certain level to do that, you know? And yeah, Oscar, powerful lesson. Thank you, bro. You're welcome. And if you're not at that level, you could also channel certain beings that can come through you and assist you in those processes. In example, when I was working with the lady with the hip problem, when I was going in with the medicine, there and you know, I do mostly all this with my eyes closed. But she had her eyes open and would she said, Dooley, I witnessed certain beings that would come through you, leave, then another being would come through you, and she was so on point. Because there was moments where I would breathe a certain way, they would tell me to move my body in a certain way, especially a lot of stuff with your spine. Because as that divine energy is coming through you, you have to have your energy channels totally open. All right. And in acupuncture, they call it, or Chinese medicine, they call it your meridian points. And in India, they call it your nadis, you know, your chakras. You know, you have to make sure these energy flows, channels are open so that divine energy can come out those hands. All right. That's why when that voice came to me and said, hey, do you know what you're smoking? That's why I had to give up smoking, recreational smoking weed. That's why I had to give it up. Because if I knew if I was going to go deeper with this type of healing work, my lungs had to be fully activated. You know what I mean? The only time I smoke is if I'm smoking DMT, Shanga, or what have you, or Bufo, whatever, for ceremonial purposes for me to do some work. You know what I mean? But I would move certain way. They would tell me to move certain way. There was a moment where I was breathing a certain way. It sounded so strange. It sounded like, and then it became like something that literally sounded like a frog that was in my throat. Now it makes sense because if you study anything on shamanism and you're talking about transmutation, you'll see that they have certain totem animals that they will use in their throat. So sometimes you might see shamans that will suck out certain disease or negativity out of a person. You'll see them come through like, you know what I mean? Sucking it out of a person, right? Oscar says, I think that thing is a low power voice state that helps you connect to your heart. Okay. What I got from it, Oscar, at that point was the assistance of a totem animal, right? It is so low powered that you can notice the heartbeat in the voice. Interesting. What I got from it at that time, and I can't mimic it exactly like the way I did it, so it doesn't really serve the purpose of me trying to describe how it was literally sounding. I'm trying my best the way I can because I was in full trance. But it at one point it sounded like a frog. Now, within a lot of shamanic literature, they will tell you that when you're sucking out, when you see some of the shamans sucking out certain things out of a person, there's something that sits in the throat. So when the negativity goes in there, that totem animal transmutates it. It deals with the negative energy so it could be neutral or something that's beneficial for you. All right. That was happening at one point. And then it was another point where a being came through. It was from a whole different other star constellation. And I know it might sound weird, but in my inner eye, the only way I could describe its appearance, it looked like the blob. And it showed me this whole way of how they heal on their planet. You know what I mean? So it would be these different ones that would come through and they would show me different ways of approaching healing, different ways to breathe, different ways to move your body so more energy could come out your hands and different things. There was one point where this goddess type of energy went through me, and I didn't need to do any breathing at all. The energy was so calm and serene. The only way I could describe it was like rain, like drops of divine energy just coming through. It was so yin. It was beautiful. It was effortless. It was like a river of energy just coming through, you know? And the woman I was working on, it was so interesting. She picked up on all the different energies that were going through me and the different styles that they approach to the healing. All right? Clearing rain. Yeah, Oscar. It was beautiful, bro. And that's why I say when I'm working on someone, it's not only benefiting them, but it's benefiting me too. Because when I'm in trance, it's like you're in a school on the other side, and they're teaching you so many different things. All right, and that's what even had me think of that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. If the family didn't see that yet, you know what I mean, it's a very interesting movie because you're tapping into all these multi-dimensional selves of yourself, you know what I mean? And the movie really resonated with me. And what I found interesting, of course, they had very comical moments in the movie. But there was one moment where they would have to do the most outrageous or strange thing to get tapped in. And to me, it spoke volumes because you have to get out of this logical mindset, this third dimensional mindset of limitation. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to like, and as children, we understand that they say that when we're born until age 7, that most of us are, as children, are tapped in. You know, it says after the programming, after that age, you know, you start to get more densified, more just like, okay, this is just these 5 senses and that's it. You know, so it's important. It's important to be very open minded, to see, to explore. You know, one of my good friends and great teacher, you know, Baba Kalindi Iyi, you know, I think it's almost 2 years of his passing. Great man, you know, and I met Baba Kalindi maybe about 8 years ago, you know, or so, and we both met each other at this place where I was speaking at UMass Amherst. I was at that college talking about urban shamanism, and I remember Baba Kalindi gave me props after my talk. It's like, I liked your talk, you know what I mean? And for me to get that compliment from this elder that like that a lot of us seen as Morpheus was, or a Doctor Strange type figure, that meant a lot to me, you know? And you have to be more open-minded, y'all. You know what I mean? Like the brother who never experienced telepathy before. You know, sometimes you got to experience things to know that you have more capabilities than all the things that you thought you had. You know, I had the privilege to meet a woman that had a levitation experience. You know, he didn't finish what he started with the big crystal. Yeah, the plantier crystal. You're true. You know, he gave me some of us these transdimensional crystals. I'll show you my transdimensional crystal that he gave me. This is the one Baba Kalindi gave me. Open it up so y'all can see it. I gotta work with this much more. Let's see if I could pull this out. But these crystals were encoded with certain information, and you're supposed to work with them with the ethogens, right? Because they start to open up like a hologram, and it's like an ancient computer. We have to understand that our ancestors were very powerful, they're very deep, and we think that we're so highly technical now. We fell off, y'all. We knew how to use certain natural things as as forms of technology, right? This is a transdimensional crystal that Baba Kalindi gave me. All right, and this is a hologram that opens up in it when you're in a certain state of mind. When you're doing your multi-dimensional travels, and you want to go back to a certain star constellation, and sometimes there's so much information and so much things going on when you're on a journey. You're like, oh wait, I want to go back there. I was chilling with the masters over here doing this, that, and the third. You can download that information into these crystals and go back there when you go back in. It's like one of my good friends, her name is Sister Sheba, and I remember I was working with her, and we were dealing with the toad that day, Bufo. And I remember the room turned into a jungle. And I realized that I was witnessing one of these timelines where I was in that timeline part of the Matsi tribe. You know, at first I didn't know what tribe it was, but all I remember was that I had, you know, one of those haircuts where, you know, if you put the bowl on somebody's head and you would cut around, look like they, you know what I mean? So I was this young man, looked like I was in my 20s at the time. And I was working with the rattle. I'm cracking jokes, doing all this stuff. Same personality that I have now, just different body, you know? And I looked at the woman I was working on at the time, and I realized it was my current friend that I'm good friends with now from that particular timeline. You know what I mean? So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I remember she said, Dooley, and we confirmed some of the things that we both seen. But then there was something that I didn't see that she was going through, where she went to another star constellation, where the people on this particular planet were jet black. They had red hair, and I believe she said they had green eyes. These people were very advanced because they seen her astral body come in to the where she was at, and it was a man that was with his young child, and he kind of brought the child with him, like, yo, who's that, or whatever. And she encountered some elders there on that planet, that one of them was an elder who was obviously a shaman or a healer on that particular planet. And they were saying to her, oh yes, we've been waiting for you. We're going to show you the records or whatever. And I didn't know that I switched the song. I must have switched, you know, because sometimes I just go in this trance and start singing or whatever. But I think if I didn't switch the song, I dealt with a gong or dealt with another instrument. And at the end, she's like, Dooley, she's like, you pulled me out of that particular experience and you threw me in this other place over here. And I was like, damn. But when she left, when she got pulled out, um, basically the elders like, it's okay, you're gonna come back here again. You know, we'll be ready to show you and you know, present to you what what they wanted to present to her. But yeah, the Plantier stone, I haven't got a chance to sit with the medicine with it. Last time I was in Detroit, I got a chance to sleep in Baba Kalindi's basement with the big giant crystal, which they say is alive, a living being. And I got a very lucid dream that night, though, I'll tell you that. And Baba Kalindi came to me and said, work with my family, you know. And the next day, all his daughters came by, and I was able to work with him, which was dope, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's still around, and he's still sending messages to people, and you know, you know, yeah, he's still around. You know what I mean? Just like that man, Sunyata Saraswati on some of my Oscar says, wow, so it's accessible to you. I've tried to contact him, but he's unsuccessful. Something. So I try to read something, but the thing went out. But it's like Sunyata Saraswati. I was chilling with my good friend Acacia. If y'all don't know Sister Acacia, she's amazing. You know, it's actually her birthday today. Well, was her birthday. It's probably past 12 midnight now, or whatever. But I called her earlier to wish her a happy birthday. And I was here. I was with her, Malati, when she was her partner, when she was still alive. And who else was there? Yeah, a couple other folk were there. Firewater. And I remember I microdosed on some mushroom, and we was taught, me and Firewater was talking about the cobra breath. And next thing I know, I see Sunyata, his teacher, because Firewater studied with him. standing on this rock because we was in this park, and he was over there looking at us. And I told Firewall, I was like, yo, Fire. I was like, yo, Sunyata's right there. He's watching us right now. You know? So they're still around. You know, death is an illusion, you know, and that's, don't get me wrong, you know, of course, the loved ones that are still here in this dimension, of course, they will miss you, and grieving and all those things are natural. But, you know, as we get more tapped in, we understand that, you know, they become super multi-dimensional at that time. And if you're tapped in, you'll be able to have access to these loved ones, you know. But that's how these powers that be really get us, is through the level of fear, you know, the fear of death, you know, to think that's, you know, so it is what it is. But I'm getting a little tired, y'all. So I'm gonna probably cut off. I didn't mean to talk this long, but you know, ever so often I get on video and like to share. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I came straight from New York on the bus, so that's another reason why I was a little low on the energy tonight. But I felt compelled to, and this Oscar said, never catch you live, been following you for years. Oh, word. Thank you, Oscar. But yeah, man, thank y'all for listening. And also, I just want to say that again, if you're able to make it to Atlanta for the retreat that we're doing, you know, and you want to experience some of the psychic surgery, or just sit down and kick it with me and some of the other wonderful people that are there, feel free to come through, you know. Might want to check out, I think it's survivallinks.com, like link like the cat, LYNX or something like that. Those are the brothers that are going to be doing the urban survival on April 28th, 29th, 30th, and May 1st. Only $98 to have that experience. And it's extra money if you want to sit down and do healing work with me. Somebody says, are you coming to Texas? If you want to set something up, man, you know, I think it was one person that said they wanted me to come to Texas. I know I'm going to be going to Atlanta in May. There's a retreat in New York towards the end of May. And this brother coming up, I think from Colombia, we're going to be collaborating. Supposed to go to DC in June. And then there's another sister who invited me out to New Orleans, which I'm very excited to go to because I've always been attracted to New Orleans, the energy there. So that should be a great experience. But, you know, if you want me to come to your city or town, just, reach out to me and, get a, this least, get a good group of people, least 10, minimum, so it could be worth everyone's while. And, we could discuss how that could work out. You know, most people, they just pay for my plane ticket. I'm not bougie, you know what I mean? I don't need no fancy hotel or nothing like that. I could always hit the couch, you know what I mean? It's all good. And yeah, and I'm just there for the people, you know what I mean? So and what else? Yeah, and if you need to reach out to me, my email is lovemotherEarth33@gmail.com. And also I'm not really on Instagram so much, you know. I'm gonna start getting more into this technology thing. Eventually start getting on TikTok, making short videos too. Just let people know, that we're doing the work. And but my Facebook is Shaman Dooley, Duli. and can reach out, put a message out on there too. And my old account got hacked, you know, unfortunately. It was Abdul K. Wilkins, my old account. So if you see that, let people know, you know, unfortunately, some clown still got my old account on that. But, you know, things happen, man. It's all good. I thought I was talking to my friend, and I realized it was a scammer, man. I got caught up, but it is what it is. But, yeah, so that's that. And I hope y'all have a wonderful night or evening or morning, whatever time you're listening to this video. For the people that are live right now, you know, I hope y'all have a beautiful night. Keep on working on yourself, man. Be easy with yourself, you know. Every day we got to work on ourselves, man. You know, I don't want nobody to put me on no pedestal. I mean, I always working on myself. There's always things that, you know, we all have our shadow work and different things we have to work through. Like I said, we all have some form of trauma and stuff we have to work through. And that's part of the process, you know. So getting through all those things and refining ourselves so we could be what we meant to be here, you know. So hope everyone has beautiful evening, night. Thank y'all for listening, and hope you take care of yourself, all right? Peace and love, all right? Take care.